So this is being recorded in the year 2018 right now, in case I'm still using these videos in the future. And by now or later, we should be pretty comfortable with the idea that technology should play some role in our lives. Probably taking this class online, these videos are online. We should be using the available technology to help us out with the process of doing mathematics, especially, say, in finding derivatives. So I'm gonna go through a couple of ways we could use technology to help ourselves. So let's say I'm trying to find the derivative of f of x equals x squared times e to the x. And so it's this funky looking function here, right? Now, it's not very hard, say, to get a sketch of the derivative. If I just say f prime of x, then boom, it's a function that looks like that. Now, as you might have guessed, just looking at that thing and trying to determine what exactly its formula is probably not the best way to go. So we probably still want to work out the derivative of x squared times e to the x, and we'll talk about that in a second. But if you were to achieve some sort of answer, it's not really that difficult of a process to check to see if it's the same as this f prime. We could just sketch what we think is the answer to and see if these things match up. So let's say I try to do this derivative, but I forget the product rule. So I say, okay, well, derivative of x squared is 2x, derivative of e to the x is e to the x. Boom, maybe that's my answer. And I could sketch that and I say, well, it doesn't really look right, right? I mean, this green line, this blue line are definitely not the same. So whatever 2x e to the x is, it can't be the same as f prime. Where did I go wrong? Then I think back and say, oh, I'm supposed to be using the product rule. So it's derivative first times second plus the first thing times the derivative of the second. And oh, look at that now. Now when I look at the blue line and the green line, those things are exactly the same. They're exactly the same function, so I can verify that these two things are the same. Now, another thing we can do is we can use something called Sage to help us out here. So here's my website, and this is the finite mathematics section. You're probably already familiar with this and some of the things that are put in here, like the financial math stuff and the logic stuff down here for use. But we're probably more interested specifically in calculus. So if I go over to calculus, there's a bunch of different things that I've embedded on here. Some of these things might look familiar uh, from earlier videos. I've used variations of these things. But down here, we have the process of finding the formal derivative. So what we have is we define f of x to be some function. In this case, it's x cubed minus 3 times x squared. We differentiate said function, and then we print the derivative. And so the function I want is x squared times e to the x. And if I evaluate that, it should give me x squared times e to the x plus 2x e to the x, which is just a switch of this thing here. And of course, addition is commutative, so that makes sense. So this is a way you can also check your answers and uh, compute the values of derivatives to see if you're on the right track.